In this tutorial, we're going to further explore the Block Shadow Tool and the Blend tool to create this retro text effect look on the left here, using just either font or just a regular object. But to get started, you would want to type out a word of your choosing. I'm just using retro for this. And select the Block Shadow Tool on the left menu here, and up at the top, for my settings, given the size of my text here, I'm going to leave it at 0.3 inches, and I'm going to add the outline effect that'll give us this kind of thicker stroke around the text by enabling this. I'm going to go 0.18 inches. That'll give us that look. And sometimes, depending on the font and the nodes that the font creates, can give you little artifacts like this, so you'll just want to play with your settings until it fixes itself, essentially. So I just had to bump it up by 0.01 inches, and now I have a clean shadow outline. So I'm going to hit Control K to break it apart, so now it's a separate object, and I'm going to give it this kind of darker yellow color by right-clicking and dragging over until I get that cursor change. And I just want to copy the fill to that object. Next, we want to get the secondary outline shadow. So I'll grab this object here and do the same process again. This time I want to bump up my distance a little bit, and again add an outline, and still getting a weird thing, so we'll just play with the settings. There, that looks good. Just bump it down one. So I'll just, once you have the next shadow ready, go ahead and hit Control K on the keyboard to break it apart. I'm just going to fix this little area here just by getting rid of some of these nodes. Just there. Oh, get rid of this little artifact here. There we go. Now I want to apply this red color, so I'll grab this, right click and drag over and copy the fill. So now we have kind of our three objects, the font and the two shadow layers. Now we want to get this kind of stylized blend effect of these lines here. And to do that, we want to create an objects. There's several objects that appear to increase in size evenly and are evenly distributed. So what we're going to do is you'll want to just create a rectangular object with the rectangle tool here on the left. Once you have that, you can just add a fill color that you want. I'm using this red. And then what you'll want to do is we're going to use the blend tool, but we need two objects to blend from start to finish. So I'm just going to left click and drag, hold down shift to keep it aligned vertically. And as you're doing that, if you tap the right mouse button, you can duplicate the object you're dragging. So now that I have a second rectangle object, I just want to bump up its thickness a little bit because I want to blend from a thin to a thicker line. We're going to go like so. So in the same pull-out menu on the left toolbar here, we want to use the blend tool here. And what you'll do is click one of the objects. You're going to click and drag until it snaps to your second object. And it will default with 20 steps in between the start and finish objects. So up here at the top, we just want to decrease that until we get there we go. Until we get the amount of objects we want. I'm going to actually undo that. So don't worry about this current spacing, how it's kind of increasing or actually decreasing the spacing between the objects, because once we have the number of objects we want, go ahead and hit Control K on your keyboard to break them apart, and once you do that, they'll be grouped together, so you can just ungroup the objects up at the top or hit Control U on your keyboard. So now we have 6 separate objects, and in the Align and Distribute Docker, we want to evenly distribute them vertically. So in the lower right button here, we'll evenly space all the objects, so you have an even space in between each one. Once you've done that, you're going to take this last bigger object, or the bottom one, last one, however you want to define it, and we're just going to increase that because we want it to fill the bottom part of the word. Once you've done that, select all the objects and just go ahead and combine them. And then you're going to take your combined object and just scale it left and right here. And we're going to kind of place it over kind of the middle part of the object, or the font here. You can kind of see what it's going to cover, and just by selecting the font you'll get the outline mode of it underneath. The next thing we'll do is, with the blended object still selected, if you go up to Object in your top menu, and you're going to just move down to the power clip option here, and you want to select Place Inside Frame. Then you're going to click on the topmost font object that you created, and it clips it inside so that anything that extends beyond the outline of the font is hidden. It's essentially CorelDraw's Adobe Illustrator equivalent of a mask. That's all you're doing is putting that inside there. If for whatever reason you need to modify it or move it, change it, whatever, with the object selected, if you right click and this third option down here, extract contents, it'll remove it from that power clipped object. Then you can move it, scale it, do whatever you need to do, and then just do the same process again of power clipping, placing inside a frame. It's Still an empty frame. So if you notice, there. With that done, you have achieved this retro text effect look. Just one quick thing, if you noticed, when you extract something, the power clip object or frame basically, when you extract it, it still remains a power clip frame, which was why I wasn't able to go back through the menu to do it, to repower clip this. If you click and drag your object over an existing power clip frame, you can re-add it that way. I personally don't like doing that just because you don't get to control the placement of it. It kind of re-drags in where your mouse is kind of holding the object over it. So it's a little less precise than placing your object by manually and then power clipping inside. So there's something to be aware of.